Hey, folks, welcome into SportsbookReview.com's college basketball conference betting preview with the big man on campus. Today, we're going to preview the Atlantic Coast Conference, one of the deepest, toughest leagues in the entire nation. Hard to navigate from start to finish last year. Obviously, North Carolina Tar Heels at 14-4 won the conference. Duke didn't even make the top four, Jeff, at 11-7 in the conference. That shows how deep it is. Favorite to win this year. Who are we looking at, Jeff?
Duke. They're actually my pick to win it all, actually, Donnie. I've mentioned to you, I think, I mean, you look at sheer talent. I mean, this is an unbelievable roster assembled. I mean, it almost looks like the Warriors. I mean, they just pick who they want and they get them. You look at just the amount of different talent they have. I mean, not only do you have Grayson Allen, who I think coming into this year, I think this is a real resurgent year for him. I mean, he had behavior issues last year, some of the issues he had on the court. I think he really comes in as a real leader on this team this year, and I think really kind of grabs the flag and raises it for them this year all year. But then you add in the fact that they get Trayvon Duval out of IMG, one of the best guards in the country. You get Gary Trent, a prolific guard as well. Both those two you get. But then you get – look at the bigs they get. I mean, they've never been they get decent bigs. I mean, but they haven't had a really good big since – really Jahlil Okafor. You look at Wendell Carter and Begley, 6'10 and 6'11. Begley is a guy that reclassified, and he's actually a 1 year older. I mean, or coming in 1 year younger. It's truly amazing what they went out and did. I just think the only concern you have with Duke is, will all this talent be able to go together and play well? If they do, I don't see anyone beating them. I just don't. The talent's just unbelievable. They're well coached, which we know. It's so difficult to quit there. I mean, there's not much to say about Duke other than this roster is unbelievable. And if they're cohesively together, I don't see any reason that you're going to find out right away, because they get Michigan State in the State Farm Champions Classic right away. They have some tough out of conference, but I think this could be a truly special Duke team.
Yeah, outside of Boston College last year, which really didn't show up night after night, seemed like anybody can beat anybody in this conference depending on where you're playing at, catching off a big loss or a big win. Give us a dark horse, Jeff, we can take a look at here in the ACC.
I mean, when you're talking about a conference like this, there are so many teams that can be dark horses. But I think a lot of people are really kind of forgetting a team that over the years has always kind of fell short. But I think if they're going to do something, it's this year. The concern is, what do you have going on with this impending scandal in college basketball? One of the teams that was aptly not named but figured out, University of Miami, well coached, do a great job at recruiting, but there are question marks about what they did. How will that affect this team this year? I think if it doesn't affect them, I don't see any reason why they're not the second best team in this conference. Many people will say, well, what about UNC? What about Louisville? What about Notre Dame? All very good, but you look at the depth with this team, I don't know it's there. It's not like Duke, but guard-wise, Bowen and Jaquan Newton, fantastic. Two of the best guards in this conference. You bring Lonnie Walker, a McDonald's All-American, top 20 player in. He's off an injury, but, healthy. I mean, what a high flyer he is. Really can do a lot of things. I saw him play a couple times at Reading High. And I think the question mark for them is, like every other team, Donnie, they have great guard play, but do they have the bigs? Do they have the front court to deal with a Wendell Carter, to deal with a Marvin Begley? I think they do. A guy like DeJuan Huell, a big kid, they just need to get that performance down low. That's going to be the one bugaboo with them, I feel like, this year. Depth could become a concern also. And they're going to have that guard, because you need a guard, Donnie, to win a lot of the times in March. They definitely have them. I just wonder, will the lack of a front court and will this impending scandal affect them? If it doesn't, look for Larry Augustine to make a deep run.
ACC, a lot of kids get drafted out of this conference, Jeff, on a night-to-night basis. Give us a betting angle that we might be able to make some money on throughout the year in the ACC.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very ugly at Pittsburgh this year. They lose pretty much all their production. They didn't really do anything to replenish the loss of production. I often wonder why Kevin Stallings took this job. I don't know that I understand it. I thought he had a pretty good job down at Vanderbilt, good conference, usually good teams. You're dealing with strictly all newcomers here on a team that was already poor last year. They're a team that I'd be betting against all year. Another team that I'm looking to bet against, Clemson. I don't know why Brad Burnell hasn't been fired. He's been a mediocre coach his whole career. He's always in the same predicament every year. They're on the bubble, and usually they don't get in. And if they do, they're not good enough. I think Clemson fans are just kind of sick of this guy. I think by the end of the year, you could see a move there. They usually aren't very good offensively. Look for the bottom groups in this conference. They're really bad this year, and there's going to be a lot of automatic wins here. You mentioned last year you had all these teams that were really kind of competitive. I don't think Pittsburgh's competitive at all. I'd be betting against them all year.
All right, folks, that's been the Atlantic Coast Conference college basketball preview with the big man on campus. For everything college basketball, check out sportsbookreview.com.